What's up, everybody, and welcome back. This is actually the end of the project that you are now taking a part of seeing. The last station check. So I got to go adjust all these heads, get them facing the right direction. The 8th station up here on the top. So we're going to go back in time across yesterday and show you all the trials and tribulations of everything that took place.
Trouble, stay away from my door. Trouble, stay away from my door. Trouble, come back, don't come around no more. Trouble, stay away from my door. Never stay away from my home.
Already lost.
Never stay away from my home. Never go back and leave my soul alone. Never stay away from my home.
As you can see, there are a lot of yellow flags. That means there are a lot of heads. 34 heads inside of this area right here. I need to explain why, but I'll do that in a minute. There's a couple of differences in here as far as what nozzles were used and how I am going to be able to get full head-to-head coverage based on the limitations of this system. Okay, so why 8 zones? That's something that probably some of you are gonna question. Let me talk you through this for just a second. Now, the elevation change between up here and down where the water comes out of the house is about, say, 25 feet, maybe almost 30 feet in elevation drop between here and all the way down there. There's not a ton of water pressure up here, and I'm really only getting about 12 gallons per minute out of my main line, and that's really not a whole lot. So everything sort of has to be scaled down, more heads, less flow to get good spray and pattern. So that's kind of how everything's gonna have to get set up here. So the general setup for all of this is going to be 5 heads. That's really all I'm gonna be able to get per station. So 7 zones up here, for just watering lawn area and including down on the lower tier down here, and then 1 station of drip that really isn't going to be doing a whole lot. It's just going to be a pretty big run that kind of comes around and feeds over to where there'll be some plantings back over here, so it's not really that big of a deal. The air quality right now isn't all that great. This is all smoke from fires out west, so we're going to try to get this done and knocked out here early before it gets really too nasty. So that's the plan. I think it's ready to be turned on. So this is one of the things that's really bad up here this year is he's getting down into this about a foot right now, and there is absolutely 0 soil moisture down there. It's really, really freaking dry. So this is one of the reasons that I decided I'm gonna put sod in up here, get this area covered off. Since the green isn't built yet, this is at least something that can be done and finished off. So we've got 1 line done already back here, coming around the corner that'll lead into the manifolds, or into the manifold, so that's done. and we're just kind of working around. So each of these is only getting 5 sprinkler heads, and it's gonna be a bit overkill down here. So I'll adjust all the heads accordingly to just make sure that I'm getting the proper amount of water and good coverage over this, but this is gonna be spraying kind of over the whole thing, 3 zones across it. So, since my flow is low, it's gonna work a little bit better to do it that way. Just kind of, you know, water a little bit differently to make sure that this is gonna hold up. So this little zigzag right here, this is actually the main line for everything coming out of the house down below, so that I could have enough pressure to get here. It's run in a trench and kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can get out of the wind. You know how it is, it's always windy up here. So we dug a trench from the corner of the building right down through here and along this side, right back here, to bring the main out of the house. It had one before, but it didn't really work very well. So everything had to get reset, including a new backflow. So that's on there now as well. This thing is damn close to being fired up and tested. Just run through and we can blow everything out, get any dirt and crap out of the line, and give it a go and see what happens. So right now let's see, it's 2:45 at the moment. I believe we started gluing at 9:30, or trenching at 9:30, I should say. So really, having 8 stations in a few hours, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. All right, so I'm just going around and doing a final head check on everything. Running through and tightening everything down that was screwed in when we started to kind of backfill it in. So I'm gonna go get all those, and then we are going to do a real pressure test and see how this thing's running.
Oh, we got action.
Oh, we have action. We have a valve open. Something's happening. Sprinklers. Okay.
I took the shit off and them all dirty.
Yeah, they're gonna get all fucked up. Look at that. It's a thing. They're spraying. I don't believe it. All right. I see water. Oh, that's right, because I actually opened up that. I forgot I did that. Okay. Let's just open these up. I'm gonna get really super muddy, which is okay. I don't really care. See my heads? I am going for head-to-head coverage here. So I'm getting it out. It's getting to here. We're getting over to here. So let's just let's do some adjusting. Okay, so it's pretty good. It's only pretty good. This middle section here with 360s on it, I don't have enough pressure to run, so I need to do a little bit of a lower volume head. So I'll get those swapped out. I'm seeing the same thing in the middle over here. There's 6 heads on that station, and they're not getting, they're not fully popping. So that is gonna have to be corrected. I'll just do some swapping the heads around and get a little bit of a different thing. These look great. Everything around the edges looks great. We're tracking well. So the couple things that I should point out, just so you're aware of it, this is all getting gravel behind here. and behind the sprinkler heads to kind of do a band right around the edge. So that way I don't, have to have the grass growing all the way up to the edge. So I would say this is a pretty good success, actually. So now I'll just be dialing in those heads, and it definitely gives me a little bit better perspective on what I'm going to need to do down below, because I'll need to put a few more zones in. So it's a good day. Good day. Sprinkler day. Now, in order to get head-to-head coverage up here on the middle section, I have MP rotors in here, which are actually running about 60% less water than those 1800s. So this central station here is going to run on a completely different time, so I can make sure that it's balanced out. I get good spray coming over the top this direction. I get good spray going over the back this direction, and this one is now covering everything across both sides to cover full head-to-head. But if I run those pop-ups for 15 minutes, these are gonna have to run for 40 to get the same amount of water as those over there. So that'll be something that gets worked on a little bit more. Let's take a look at one other station, and I'll show you over there too. So the same thing had to happen in this area here, because I have multiple sites that have 360s. I couldn't run those rainbirds. It just wouldn't flow, and I couldn't get head-to-head coverage. So really what you're seeing here is a sprinkler head about every 10 feet in every single direction. So it's all covered off. It's running super smooth. I'll go ahead and kick on the camera, do a little time lapse, and show you station to station how well this thing is watering down the hill, and you can watch it. It'll be fun. You know what? Cue the music. So let's talk about cost here for a second. So this whole thing, it ended up taking about 8 hours total to do everything that we did out here. 8 hours total, 6 hours yesterday, 2 today, just finishing and buttoning things up. And all in, I'm at $1,250. $1,250, 8 hours of labor, that's where we are. That included running a new main line from the house, plumbing from inside the house, new backflow, running everything up, putting it into a sleeve, and setting this whole thing up the way it did. So, not too bad. Clearly you're gonna save a shitload of money doing it yourself. And, if you have some level of sprinkler experience, that would definitely help. I would say enlist people that do if you don't have that, if you're gonna tackle this yourself. But adding in an irrigation system, it's just going to vary depending on where you are as far as what you're gonna have to trench through. All of that crap has to be factored in. So we kind of just did this the old-fashioned way, and hell, there's gonna be grass up here before you know it.